Well, hello and welcome back to the Builder Dad shop. I am Builder Dad Dan and this is my shop. Now, in my world, day after day, Monday through Friday, I'm sitting in front of a computer. I actually, funny enough, my background is accounting, but I actually made my way into software. And so I write software for a living. And so I spend a lot of time typing. And for me, I've run into some problems over the years. I always like to say it's an old accounting injury when I was in accounting because I was doing so much spreadsheet work and calculating and things like that. And so I developed a problem with my wrists. And so today's video is about how do you deal with some of that? And it was kind of interesting because during COVID, I was no longer going to the office anymore. And I wasn't really getting up all that much because I was sitting at my desk. I was really comfortable. My chair is really comfortable. And I started developing some bad habits. I started leaning on my elbows. I started doing some other things that kind of created some problems for me. And there was a time where I still wear them now, especially if you see me at the office or you see me at home. When I sleep, I wear wrist braces. It helps me. It kind of relieves the tension in my wrists. I've actually been tested for carpal tunnel and thankfully it was very mild. And so they sent me to occupational therapy. And it was something that I talked to a lot of people about, especially at work, of you got to maintain yourself a little bit. And when you're sitting there and you're doing repetitive hand motions and things like that, one of the most important things you can do to stay limber and fresh is just to stretch, whether that's, touching your toes, which I can't do, but, I can dream about touching my toes at some point. I'll lose a little bit of belly fat here to do that better, I think. But, it's like sometimes just standing up and stretching. One of the cool things that they taught me about in occupational therapy was that I think it was occupational therapy, but they were teaching me about ergonomics, how to sit better in the chair, making sure that my knees were parallel and stuff like that. But the one thing, because my posture is still sometimes bad, the one thing they taught me that I didn't know at the time, which I'm going to share with you, that's been very helpful for me is just a simple stretch. And it was just as simple as taking my hands and putting my palms up in the air. And that pulls, by the way, right now, this is pulling the whole way down here and I can feel it right now. And if I want to, I can take it a step further just by tilting my neck over and all of a sudden I'm feeling it the whole way through my shoulder to my hand and all the way up. And I hold that for maybe 15 seconds and then I'll do it again repeatedly. And so I'll do it on both arms. Same thing. Just pull. And I'll tell you what, doing that, just pulling that stretch, and as soon as it relieves, I can feel it in my hands. And it was bad enough for me at one point that my fingers were tingling. And so there was a period of time for, I think it was 3 weeks mid-COVID, where I actually couldn't feel, I think it was my left hand, I couldn't feel my fingers very well. And I was just typing angrily because you could just hear my keyboard just clack, 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 because I couldn't actually feel the keys all that well because I'd lost a little bit of sensation because things were swollen up too much for me. So now, a few years later, my process of kind of keeping things braced a little bit to kind of make sure that I'm relieving pressure and bad habits don't really play into it has helped out a lot. But the most important thing has been that stretch. And I like to do it all the time. And so I might be woodworking for 30 minutes or sitting in front of the computer for 30 minutes. And all of a sudden you see me pop up and I'm stretching a little bit and I'm talking while I'm stretching, maybe talking to myself because I'm by myself right now. But I'm doing that and it helps me out. So I hope this simple stretch, if you didn't already know about it, I hope it helps you out. Try it out. It's just arm out, palm to the sky, and slide your head over. And I'll tell you what, it hurts a little bit, not much, but when you let it go, it feels good. And so that's one thing you got to do, especially, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm not in my 20s anymore. And so I've got to start taking better care of myself. And if I want to keep woodworking and I want to do hand tools and planes and all those things, I got to keep the dexterity in my hands. And so while I work a full-time job in front of a keyboard, I like doing this. And so I needed my hands for both. And so that's just a simple trick that I have, a tip that I have for you, and hopefully it helps you out. So until next time, stay safe, stay stretched, and stay woodworking. Have fun with it. And we'll talk later.